Celestial Mystics, welcome back to our 12 Days of Christmas series. All right. I'm Tiffany Satchel, your 1111 coach and guide through the mystical and empowering world of magic, cosmic laws, angels, and tarot. If you're new to this channel, remember to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss any of our daily sessions. Okay? Today, we're delving into the soothing rhythms of the universe with Archangel Cassiel, exploring the law of rhythm. Okay? Now, have you ever noticed how life seems to flow in cycles? Of course you did. Just like the seasons change, our lives ebb and flow in phases of growth, rest, and renewal. And Archangel Cassiel is depicted as the angel of solitude and teaches us to embrace these rhythms, these natural rhythms, and to find peace in our own solitude. Okay? Cassiel, probably the less invoked angel, because I don't hear really many people talk about Cassiel. All right. But he holds dominion over the quieter spaces of existence. He actually teaches us about the law of rhythm, which is a universal principle that everything moves in cycles, like the tides. The phases of the moon or the seasons. Be right back. Okay. Cassiel's presence helps us understand that each phase that we encounter is necessary for our spiritual growth and development. Okay? So, we could think of Cassiel as the conductor of an orchestra, which each section playing its part in a larger symphony. Okay? He doesn't rush the music. Instead, he ensures that each note sustains its proper time. Contributing to overall harmony. I think I twisted my elbow when I was sleeping. Okay. All right. So in our lives, Cassiel's influence helps us to recognize when to act and when to be still, ensuring that we're aligned with the rhythm of the universe. So embracing the law of rhythm means recognizing when to push forward and when to pull back. For instance, during times of intense activity or change, Cassiel reminds us to find moments of quiet reflection to recharge. Okay? So then conversely, in periods of stagnation or sadness, he encourages us to see these as times of preparation for future growth. Okay, so now let me share a story a friend of mine once told me, which perfectly aligns with today's message. My friend was going through a period of intense challenge and isolation, and it felt like her efforts were completely fruitless. So my friend, let's call her Sarah, was working in a highly competitive sales environment. Okay, she was driven and ambitious, and she aimed to become the top salesperson in her company. However, despite her hard work and long hours, she found herself constantly outperformed by her colleagues. And then Sarah began to feel burnt out and disillusioned, questioning her skills and her choice of career. Okay, it then began to reach a point where Sarah felt so overwhelmed that she considered quitting her job. She told me that she felt isolated, both personally and professionally, because when you're going through things like this, it's hard to tell people that you feel like a failure. All right. And as the competitive nature of her work environment, she didn't have any friends or people that she could, or personal relationships with those around her that she could maybe, get to support her, because when you're working in that type of environment, you can't trust anyone. All right. So then her own personal relationships began to suffer because she was putting so much into work, and she had basically an erratic work schedule. All right. And a lot of us can relate to that. Like, I know I can relate to that. There's a lot, I work a lot. My schedule can sometimes be really crazy, especially, when people get fired or, they quit. And a lot of times my sisters, they might call me and they want to do something, but I don't, my work schedules doesn't always allow me to be as flexible as people around me. You know what I'm saying? I have to plan everything out. That's also, something that my boyfriend, says, like he's used to doing things on the fly. I can't always do that. I have to, you have to set up a plan with me with the type of schedule that I have. Because I have to make sure that I get my rest. And I don't usually allow anything that's going on in my environment to disrupt my rest pattern, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to get that recharge that I need. I have to make sure that I get rest. So I don't usually sacrifice my rest time. I know what schedule usually that I'm going to have to work, at least 2 weeks in advance. And sometimes things change even when I make plans, sometimes, now not as much, I don't get called in as much. I don't get called in on my days off anymore, so that's good, thank God for that. But my schedule could change, even when I make plans, with people, sometimes I can't come through, so I know that many of us can relate to that. Okay. So one evening after work, Sarah sat alone in her apartment, and the silence around her, which once buzzed with the potential of calls and deals, now seemed to echo her failures. Okay. And it was during this low point that she shared her feelings with me over the phone. I listened quietly wishing I had known sooner about her struggles. Because if I had, I would have told her about Archangel Cassiel. Much earlier. And I would have explained to her that the feeling of isolation wasn't a signal of failure, but a necessary pause, a quiet space given for reflection and recuperation. That's what I would have told her, you know. This was not the end, but this was not the end for her, but it was a vital resting phase, preparing her for substantial growth that was yet to come. Because our blessing, our breakthrough usually comes through those challenging times, right? Even if it's just the mere experience, okay? We're stretching ourselves, okay? So had I been aware earlier of the struggle she was enduring, I could have introduced her to the law of rhythm and the soothing practices of EFT, guided by Archangel Cassiel's wisdom, okay? Because he helps us recognize and harness these natural cycles of energy and turn what seems like a setback into a setup for future success. That doesn't mean that everything's going to be perfect. No, that's not what life's about, you know. And although eventually she did wind up leaving that job and she transitioned into a completely different career, I frequently remind her now, and I stay conscious myself to share the universal laws with other celestial mystics now, which is why I talk about it so much, universal laws, on this channel. Okay, after that's when I said I need to talk about universal laws and not just do EFT, not just do tarot. That's why I talk about universal laws, because of what happened with my friend, which I'm not going to say her name just in case she watches my video, which I don't think that she will. I really don't think that she follows my content, but if she does, hey girl. You know, life's challenges are just temporary phases. Okay, so with enlightened guidance and a shift in perspective, each low point is not a dead end, but a preparatory pause. Okay, setting the stage for ascension to new heights. Okay, so I'm gonna close out today's session right now. All right, this is one of my short videos, right? Short content for me. All right, and remember that life's natural rhythm are not obstacles, but actually opportunities to align more closely with the universe's powerful flow. And Archangel Cassiel is here to guide us through these cycles with grace and understanding. So tomorrow we'll explore another archangel and universal law, continuing our journey through these 12 magical days. So don't forget to check out the EFT script in the comment section to connect with Archangel Cassiel and the law of rhythm. Okay, thank you for joining me today. Share this video with someone who might find solace in understanding life's rhythms, okay? And let me know in the comments how you plan to embrace the cycles in your own life. And as always, I love you with that agape kind of love. I'll see you in the next video.